Yo, what up, world? Welcome to This Could Have Been a Text, but obviously we made it a podcast.
Yep.
Make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment, you tell us, you rate. I think that's on Apple. You give us 5 stars.
Please.
If you're gonna give us a bad rating, just leave a comment. Don't give us a bad rating.
Give
You
us
know
some
what I'm
input.
saying?
We love the input.
We love the input about the show. We don't really want to know about your life. Just what pertains to the show and the topics on the show. But I'm Big Esco. Here with the dude, J Daddy, Julian.
We're in the flesh.
You
Another
know what I'm
week.
saying?
Another
We got
week.
the guys podcast.
Yeah, we missing Demi today.
Mr. Demi. She's off probably being a super mom or something like that.
Yeah. Just setting like usual.
Like usual. You know what I'm saying? We'll get to that next episode, you know, because she be around the world. We be letting her live. I don't know. Man, what's the word, man? What's new? What's popping?
Man, this is a good week. Good week. Made a lot of progress at work. Man, home life is still great, improving, Jameson's growing.
Tell me what's up with the Jameson's taking his first real pictures.
Yeah.
I'm seeing. I have my nephew, Nishai. Shout out to Nishai. He took his first school pictures.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now we definitely at that age where you would meet an adult before in life and they'd be like, make sure you give me a wallet.
Yeah.
You didn't understand why they wanted a picture of you in the first grade.
Yeah.
And now I do.
Yeah, no, man, it's super cool to have them taking pictures for the first time. Just seeing how they turned out, and I mean, it's crazy lining up like pictures of me at that age and him at this age, where it's like he's not smiling in the pictures. You know, it gets that honest. You know, man, it's just cool. It's
That's
cool
so
seeing them grow and just go from, you know, being a baby, bringing him home from the hospital, just sitting him in the corner of the couch to now, you don't know where he's going to end up, what he's climbing on, you know.
This is a dude now.
Yeah.
This is a dude. You have a dude now.
Yeah. And it's pushing, it's challenging us because, I mean, it's keeping us on our toes. You know, he goes to a bilingual center as well, so he's already engulfed in Spanish every day.
I mean, he's a Texan, so it makes sense.
So I mean, we are having to pick up Spanish ourselves so that we can just kind of keep up with what he's learning in school. You know, he'll just be fluent. So I definitely need to stay ahead of the curve before, you know, he come home and start talking to me crazy and I don't know about it.
No, for real. Get some Duolingo on your ass real quick, boy.
Yeah, go ahead, download the app.
I wonder, like, I mean, you know, we grew up in St. Louis, which was St. Louis wasn't white and black. Like, now that I think about it, it was like, you know, I knew Bosnian kids. Like, I knew kids of all across the world, you know, honestly.
Yeah, Hispanics. Yeah.
But he really is growing up in like a different type of melting pot, just in the city being, you got Texans, then you got, like you said, the Hispanic influence down there. Then you just got America moving to Texas, like people like to do too as well. You know what I mean? Like, that's super interesting. I never really thought about raising kids around like in an international type of place.
Yeah. My father-in-law had mentioned, we were talking the other day about just him being in school and stuff. And he's like, man, you know, it's going to be cool because he's going to be, because of his environment, he's going to be so prepared to just deal with and be open to just people. But he's like, man, you got to make sure that he still just like understands like how important it is just being black. I was like, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know me, you know I am big pro-black.
Which would be hard. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this actually, you know, because we're in the presidential cycle right now. We got less than a couple weeks away from the election. Yeah. Texas is a red state, right? Still, right? Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, Dallas City isn't. The city of Dallas and like Houston isn't, but outside of, you know, those big cities, no.
Right. Same for St. Louis still. St. Louis, Kansas City, Como, probably. Um, Shout out to Mizzou. We won
For sure.
homecoming.
That was a good win.
That was a quality win.
Yeah, that was a good
Tendell
win.
be trying to hate Alabama. Could we sneak up on Alabama? If we sneak and crack Alabama,
Yeah,
we're
that's
gonna win out. We go into the playoffs. That's my
definitely.
prediction. Let's go.
Yeah.
That wasn't the point that I was trying to
No,
make. I
no,
got
but
derailed.
you were sitting there talking about the election cycle and
The
just
election cycle, being black.
Mhm.
Being black.
Yeah.
Okay. So me and Demi hopped on Friday and I talked about how Drake and J. Cole, two of the most famous mixed rappers ever.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Drake is the first big mixed rapper, like black and white.
Okay.
I can't think of another rapper from the 90s that spoke about being mixed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe
Yeah.
they were, but I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Light skin for sure. So, and we got Hispanics and all that kind of stuff, but like black and white, right? So now, like this conversation around being black and like Obama telling black men who we should vote for or why we shouldn't, and all this other stuff, like I think that doesn't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like that narrative, because being black is about how you identify with the black struggle.
Right.
That is what being black is.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all not from necessarily what they call the tribe of Shabazz, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we all are, you know what I'm saying, have a certain experience. So Kamala Harris being able to go to Howard gives her a type of exposure to certain black experiences that is just authentic. You can't take that away.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
And it's like, even with Obama, like, I mean, he didn't grow up around black people, but Michelle did. Mm-hmm. So Michelle, by way and by ancestry, you know what I'm saying? He got his black American card. Mm-hmm. You live in Chicago, South Side enough, you're going to learn about some black people. It's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? Like from that alone, So it's just like, I think that like, your father-in-law was saying, what like young people, not just Jameson, but like what young people read really shapes their blackness. And so it's like, you and your wife are in black Greek organizations, mm-hmm. which is always funny for me to say. It's like, this person is Greek. I'm like, but they're black. It's always that's a good joke that people just leave out there. But it's like, it's inevitable that he's going to learn black history just based off of that alone. Yeah. Which for most black people, that does not happen. And I guess I just took that for granted because I read about black history. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like I had that experience, but I didn't realize until like probably my late 20s that like, oh, most people, if they didn't get it in school, they don't know anything about black history, like at all. And their blackness is usually just tied to like whatever city they're from.
Yeah. Which is kind of sad. It's kind of sad because when you interact with those people, you see just how small their scope of the world is, where you're like, dang. That's why like college was so expansive for the mind, because it's like you're just exposed to so much more, even for like our white counterparts, where they came from these small towns where they viewed the world one way and they got to interact with us in a much more intimate day-to-day basis. And it was like, oh, these people are completely different than what I've been told or what I thought that they were. It's totally different.
Bro.
But like you were touching on with just being black and just like what it, at least for us, what it really means to be black. Like you said, it is about how you identify with our struggles. And it simply being black by DNA doesn't necessarily mean that you, like you said, you got that experience, because we interacted with a lot of people who came from, some of them came from affluent families and just they saw a different struggle than we saw. Not to say they didn't have struggles, because they did. We were naive to what those struggles may have been, or we just didn't simply experience those same things.
Man,
I have to assume it would be challenging to be a young black kid who grew up in an affluent neighborhood, affluent family.
You don't have to assume, for facts.
You know what I'm saying? And you see that they struggle later on in life, where it's like, I just feel like I missed some shit too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Not
Right.
that because I had to struggle, oh, that's what made me black, but I just don't understand that struggle the same way that y'all do. So I am a
Yeah.
little disconnected. And we saw
And
a lot of them kind of populate more so to white people or people who were just of the same background that they were, where, okay, we grew up similarly. So yeah, I have more in common with you than I do
or you
other people
don't,
who have the same skin color.
because to that point, you could be black and have white friends, and that doesn't not make you black,
Right.
right? But are you? Did you suppress your blackness? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you educate your friends around your culture
Right.
and certain things, or did you like, you know? And that's the conversation around Drake.
Give me a
Like
black
Drake
light.
created it later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which people don't usually give you credit for. It's like
Yeah.
if you do it before after 17, like people don't really give you credit for it. But it's like in those formative years, if you pick your identity and you stand firm on it, it's like you can't really belly flop because black people aren't doing a thing.
Yeah.
Whether they're being ghetto, whether they're hanging out with they the black, we know plenty of black girls, black dudes that hang out with the white people that are hella black. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so like navigating that as we get older in this generation of like, I don't know what other black, like I said, other black families, what they're gonna teach their kids about slavery. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like the importance of understanding like it wasn't that many generations ago, even still during our lifetime, that our parents experienced Jim Crow when they were born. Yeah. And these different things. Like, do you just I understand why people now want to kind of erase that and not have to deal with it, because then you get to kind of glaze over the tough parts and the things that actually still impact people. So that's why it's like if you Trump, it's like, well, don't vote for them. Or if you were, I saw a dude on CNN say, he basically said that he used these words verbatim. I don't know if you've seen this clip. He said on live TV, so it's this black dude, he's a radio host, he's a conservative. Mm-hmm. And it's two CNN pundits in the studio. And they cut to him and he's talking about the difference, you know, black men voted for Kamala and Trump. And he says that more field black people are voting for Trump and more house black people are voting for Kamala. And
what the fuck is he talking about? What?
He said that.
Nigga, don't get on CNN and embarrass us.
He said that to two black people and they had your reaction. Now, I think the point he was trying to make is that blue collar, which he could have just said, that it seems like blue collar black men are leaning more towards Trump, and college educated black people, black men are leaning more towards Kamala. Mm-hmm. I think if he would have said that, they would have maybe could have had a dialogue, but the conversation stopped at field black people.
Because then we can have a conversation centered around like education and how that shapes your political views, right? Because essentially that's what he's alluding to.
Right? The liberal colleges, mm-hmm. You know, where you learn to be inclusive, right? Like you talked about, right? Yeah. So you're a white kid, you grew up in rural, suburban Missouri, just using Missouri for that example. And you go to college, the big state college, and now for the first time, you can have black neighbors, mm-hmm. Right? And then you hang out with them, they're like, they're cool. Like, I don't, you know, we do the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? And now you go home and your dad or your uncles who have never hung out with anybody that's not like your family, and you say, oh, yeah. I agree with you know, they could be gay, whatever. Yeah. It's just like now it's like, oh, you're that crazy liberal college. Yeah. And it's like, that sucks that is what our politics are down to. But that's why I'm bringing up black men. I don't know why it feels like, yeah, on average, black men would rather go with Trump. Like, I don't know why it feels like they feel like the Democrats are insulting their intelligence. Mm-hmm. By assuming, because it's just like I don't get the gripe. Yeah, I don't get the gripe. I guess I don't get it.
See, and for me, it's hard I will vote for Kamala simply because she's, at least up to this point, she's proven to be a better person than Trump has. We've seen Trump in the office. We've seen him get on there and make crazy, outlandish statements about women and
Bro, what?
minorities. Except he's a bad person. So first and foremost, I can't even entertain listening to you discuss your policies and where your stance on your policies,
Right.
even though I may align with some of those ideals. I can't even try to entertain that conversation or the thought because I know you're just a bad person. And for me, that's way more important. Like your morality is more important than where you may stand on this political thing or this political thing. No, I just need to know what type of person are you first.
Yeah, baseline. And it's like,
That's where I stand.
I think that Trump is like a wrestler. And it's like, if you gonna be Hulk Hogan, at certain points in life, you got to stop being Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And it's like he used his fame to win the presidency, but then it was like he never stopped playing the character.
He's an actor.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, oh yeah, like I'm not saying that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris not playing a character to some degree, but their character is the profession. It's the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're not just doing, like, he's just being famous.
Yeah.
It's different between being famous and then like playing the role as a politician.
Exactly.
And so that's why I was like, yeah, I can't, to that point, I can't give him that. And then too, like I said, being black, like I vote first with black people's interests.
Absolutely.
And then I probably vote from like a local standpoint, personally. You know what I'm saying? Like where I am like importance to me. So it's just like, dang, yeah, old girl went to Howard and shit. So it's just like, I just trust her.
I do.
To make certain decisions or to at least have a certain face card that, like, I honestly feel like Trump's base that he has to appeal to is much more radical than he is. And if he had any balls, he would like stop that shit and then like be a moderate and then potentially actually beat her, just because like his stances on certain stuff just are different. You know what I'm saying? Not because they're like radical. Like there's nothing wrong with difference.
Yeah. I think that he definitely plays into, like you say, his base. You see him go into that character where it's like, I know you're not like this 24/7.
Bro,
I know this. But you know that this is what your base, this is what they're looking for. They're gonna respond to this. So it's like, yeah, I do have to play into being this radical. I'm gonna say this crazy. I'm gonna be super aloof with this and with that, and just I'm gonna say whatever, and they're gonna eat it up.
They're gonna eat that shit up every time.
And I think that once again, that's the other part where it's just like, I hate that politics is this pony show where it's just like, at the end of the day, we all really do want very similar things. Just how we get those things accomplished is gonna look different,
bro. Literally. And to that point, like you ask every parent pretty much in America what they want, and they want the same things.
Yeah.
You ask any married couple what they would want for their relationship, they pretty much want the same things. Now it's when you get into an America, that classism thing. And that is the biggest thing, more than is Obama black enough? Is Kamala black enough? The real question is, when they get in the room with the billionaires, how black are they going to be?
Man, I'm so happy that you touched on that. That's really what it is. It's like, that is something that now in my professional life, I make sure every time I enter every room, you're going to know that I'm black and that I'm proud to be black. Like when I first started with my company, and I remember it was the first day of training. Literally, they were like, all right, everybody go around the room and say something about yourself. And I was like, oh, my name is such and such. I'm from St. Louis. I was a flight attendant for American for 8 years. And I love black people. And the black people in the room was like, this nigga really just said that. And the other people were like, huh, I don't really know how to react. Like, do you not love other people? But and I said that, I was like, I love people in general, but I really love black people.
Right.
And everybody who was black was like, I feel you. Like, I'm happy that
you too, bro.
Me too. Yeah, I wouldn't have said that in this space, but I'm happy that you said that. And I make sure that every room that I'm in, like, y'all gonna understand that I am a Black man. I'm representing Black people with pride, and a Black professional. Like even on my email chains, like we can go in there and give thumbs up to messages. Mine is a Black thumbs up.
Hey, you know what time it is.
I intentionally went in there and changed it to the Black emoji to respond to this message. Like I'm doing that, right? So it's like that. I'm very powerful on just Black people and representing Black people and changing the narrative as far as like how people think we can represent ourselves and how we can just dwell in spaces, especially professional spaces. It's like, no, I'm trying to break all of those negative, just like misconceptions about us.
Yep.
Change our narrative and really show people, even like other people who are Black who I work with. It's like, no, they are inspired seeing me do the things I do at work. And they tell me that, like, man, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even be trying to do this because I didn't think it was going to be possible because how it looked before you got here. It looks totally different now. And I see what you're doing in this space. And like that gives me fuel to keep going and believe that I can do that stuff too.
Man, I've dealt with that too. Like, being one of few Black people, you know what I'm saying, in advertising, and especially like at a really large agency, like,
and in leadership.
You know what I'm saying? Like we working for global companies for the most part, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just like being able to be in certain rooms, you know what I'm saying, help make certain decisions. Like I said, just with the exposure that we have, it makes a really big difference. And that is why, diversity and inclusion, even at Mizzou, you know what I'm saying, has gone away.
Yeah.
In a lot of these different companies and stuff like that. But that sense of community, it's so scary that people are willing to like try to erase community in that way. And it's really like, even like, with I'll call these people the dumb Asians, the dumb Asians that was fighting against affirmative action. And then I saw headlines that said Asian enrollment at the Ivy League schools is still down. Like, dumb dilla.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all thought y'all really just outsmarted the system, huh? Like we never thought about that, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's the lack of respect for, to your point, the Black American. Whether or not that you want to give us the credit for building this country / company through the free labor that really helped, you know what I'm saying, take those people over the top and build that wealth here. Or if you just want to give us the credit from the 20th century on of what we've actually invented, created, manufactured, you know what I mean? Like so many different things, you know what I mean? That on the world stage, you would be willing to make LeBron James from the projects in fucking Akron, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? The flag bearer.
Yeah, that was amazing to see.
And Muhammad Ali is not with us, but they lived in the same lifetime.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like all these different transgressions and all these different lives in that one century right there, the 20th century right there. And in the 21st century, it started, the Black kids being born in the 21st century are, they have a very interesting deposition to life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they have come up in a very unique time with them being digitally native. And it's just like, you can't, I be thinking about that a lot. Like, damn, I don't want my kids to be weirdos, but I don't want them, like, I feel like I got to teach them life without the phone throughout those formative years. Like, I got to be the no TV type of, like, damn, we don't got TV at my house for real. Like, I feel like I gotta get on that with them because it's like, you'll have plenty of time to be on the phone and attached.
Yeah, you will.
Like plenty of time. But it's like you don't have a lot of time to really understand what it's like to not be attached to the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I get glimpses of that now, even with Jameson, where throughout the day, I mean, he really has limited TV time. He watches TV in the morning for about 20 minutes before, as we're getting him ready for school and everything. Even that, it's never just like, most of the time he's not watching cartoons. He's watching something that is like learning based, right? So whether it's numbers, whatever it is, months, days of the week, whether it's stuff watching, he's watching stuff based on like tasks, like brushing your teeth, getting ready, just little things like that. It's always like information based things. We don't really let him sit there and watch TV where it's just like cartoons. Really, the only cartoons that he ever watches is like Rugrats, Hey Arnold,
Gotcha.
and SpongeBob.
Classic.
Like those are that, and like Batman Beyond. Those are probably the only four things that I let him watch at this point that are cartoons. But it's all stuff where I'm like, some of that is low, like Batman is a high stimulation thing. But Rugrats is perfect to put on in the morning sometimes. It's like, okay, this is very low stimulation, but it gives you something.
What's crazy is, I'm gonna let you finish, but what's crazy is all of those now are super low stimulated compared to the new cartoons now, which is so crazy, Nate. But continue.
Yeah, because if you watch something, you compare something like Rugrats to Paw Patrol, it's like night and day.
And Rugrats used to be so crazy. The animation style, the looks, the music, it was so crazy. Now it's like, that's nothing. This is boring.
And I can see that too with him. Like, he doesn't respond the same way either. If I put on Paw Patrol, you could tell that grabs his attention a lot more than Rugrats, where it's like he's kind of in and out. He'll still be in his room, but he may be also playing with his toys or doing this and kind of just looking up here and there. But going back to what I was saying initially, like as far as like limiting and just being aware of exposing them to other things outside of, just like electronics, I also see how he responds when we like take him outside. You know what I'm saying? Like you can see like he's super like just in tune. When he walks outside, he loves like just walking in the grass. He, for whatever reason, he has like this fascination with the sky. But anytime like, and I guess maybe I just don't notice with other kids because they're not my kid, but at least with him, like he notices everything in the sky. If birds fly over, he notices it. If there's planes flying, he's looking up at it.
Yeah.
And I mean anything like the leaves on the trees, like he loves just like touching the leaves and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so I always try to make sure we also give him that time too of just like being outside.
Yeah.
Touching earth sometimes we're just like, all right,
got to.
You need this time too of just like, this is a different stimulation, but it's just as important as the other stuff.
Yeah. And even to that point of just like being observant, like Nashad now is 2.5, pretty much, I would say. So he's really getting into that mode of like, oh, I'm talking, I'm saying words, you know what I'm saying? Now he knows no. So like no is his whole thing, which his grandma does not like. Yeah. But to your point, it's like trying to show him and stimulate him in like unique ways. So for me, I'm always thinking like with little kids, girl or boy, hand-eye coordination. That's always my thing with them. It's like, can you catch? Can you catch? Can you throw? You need to know how to catch. You need to know how to throw. It'll take you a long way in life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially like I said with kids now who probably know how to catch and throw less. Unless their parent is like training them for a sport. You know what I'm saying? Like just on general, kids don't play like that anymore. So, you know what I mean? Like, I really think about that. Like, damn, how much am I going to let them be involved with that kind of stuff? Yeah. Or I guess maybe it's not even that kind of stuff. It's just probably just social media. Like, how long can I keep them away from social media interacting with it? You know what I mean? Like, even YouTube to me is social media because you could comment, you could like, you could DM, you could do all the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm just like, dang. It makes me even more conscious of even kind of the stuff that I'm making, that I'm not trying to necessarily make family friendly stuff, but I am trying to make stuff a certain quality that I remember what it was like when you would watch something and you would take something away from it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still appreciate artists that can make me think in that way now that I'm more mature. But if it's a brand or anything that can make me kind of see a new aspect, see a different perspective, gain a new perspective, which I think is really hard today because we see so much stuff and everybody can emulate everybody and afford to make a high quality video now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is really separating you? And I feel like even this ecosystem that we're trying to build here, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the new way that people consume. Like, this is the new baseline minimum. Where it was just like, can you make some posters and burn some CDs?
Right. You know?
Now it's like you got to do some whole other shit to really compete. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
where do the children, like, where do young people coming into this world with that kind of over their head, like, how do they participate? How do we get them involved with it in a safe way to where they're just not trying to like be a little girl and throw ass, so be a little dumbass thing on here and be only want to pop balloons and talk about girls and in the craziest way you can. You know what I mean? Like,
because I mean, essentially, it all leads to figuring out what your hustle is going to be.
That's it.
You know, like that's why on the flip side, it also is important too, still for like you said, kids for them to get exposed to this stuff. You do
They
need
have
to
to.
be exposed to the digital world and just like how fast the world is moving. Because I know there was a period probably 2-3 years ago where I really was like, I have fallen behind from a technological sense. I really don't. There was basic stuff that I was like, this is kind of where I stopped. Once we got out of college, I didn't have to use technology no more in my field, being a flight attendant. Right.
True.
I mean, outside of using devices, for my job, which, okay, cool. Obviously, I know how to do these things. There was a lot of stuff that changed in the world where there was just the evolution of AI, chat GPT, like all of these other things where I was hearing this stuff talked about. And I was like, I have no fucking clue what they're talking about. Because I don't do none of that stuff. You know?
Right.
Into my day to day. So it's like, I was already starting to concede and say, you know what? Well, this must be what getting older feels like, where you just, damn, I don't know how to do basic shit. Like your parents like, hey, can you help me with my phone and do such and such? And it's like I can see how you get to that now, because you just gave up when you saw the world kept moving. And you was like, well, I don't necessarily need to know how to do this.
I don't need to know that.
So, to know these 7 numbers to call somebody I need to talk to.
Right. Contacts.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's interesting because they definitely still need that stuff too. And I definitely want him to be up to speed when he gets into that realm where it's like, okay, I do need to utilize some of these tools as well.
Right.
Navigate the world.
Yeah. And just, and we can lead this here, but just like navigating, I really just do think about it like navigating it safely.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be online and just get into the craziest shit on accident because it's a rabbit hole. And like, when you don't understand the rabbit hole when you're younger, you think that you're just exploring.
Yes.
It's not the library. Like, you really had to keep diving in the library, like another book of this or that. Like, no, this shit it's a game. They designed it for you to, like the casino. It's like gambling. Like, you got to teach kids how to use that shit like that. And I just know, maybe just like you said, based off our age, based off when we started using it, I'm just aware of that. But I just know there are so many people's parents who are not aware of that. And it is so apparent amongst the young people now.
Yeah. See, we got to see the development of it. We saw the rabbit hole being formed. It's like, metaphorically, it's like when you pull the plug on the tub and you start to see it swirl. We pulled the plug and got to see the start of the swirl.
Yeah.
So we understood, it's going to swirl and swirl into all the water.
You just plug the hole back up and it won't swirl no more.
Right? But people who were already born into the swirl, they just assumed, this is all I know is the swirl.
All I know is the swirl.
I don't know what the world looks like without it. I don't know how to get out of it. I didn't know you could stop it.
That is what we got to call that from now on. The show, the swirl, man. Right. Caught up in the swirl.
That's how it comes across, where you literally, we can see people where it's like, you just don't know that is the system that they built.
And okay, leading to our next topic, this is a thing. We can have the guy's perspective on this. We don't need Demi's perspective on this. We know what she thinks. We know what she thinks. They made it illegal. A Texas judge first has made it illegal to go through your partner's phone, which I think they're deeming it like unnecessary information. So it's like, hey, calculate the tip for me. And you use their phone, use the calculator, that's fine. Right. But now you're going through emails, personal information, text messages. Technically, that is illegal, which is like the closest thing that we have to that is like mail. Yeah. Right? Like, technically, like, your mama can't go to your daddy mail, technically. But it's like amongst households, that's usually just looked upon as like normal. It's like, well, yeah, babe, open the letter. What is it? You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. Like, phones are personal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, I'll make this clear. I don't think that you should have any information on your phone that you don't want your partner to see.
Yeah.
However, I could understand how like you could have some personal stuff on your phone that is just like to you. It could be, and I mean, I'm being as like minuscule as a meme
Yeah.
down to, I mean, shit, you could be planning something for your girlfriend or your boyfriend. It was like, now, what size shoe he wear, Julian? And it's like, why are you talking to Julian? Looking at it, it's like, oh, you just buy me a gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, damn, you wasn't going through my shit. Like, even minuscule stuff down to that. Like, you're married, so give us some wisdom here, Julian.
It's I mean, one, it ain't, to me, it shouldn't be an issue for your partner to have access to your phone.
Yeah.
I mean, Kelsey has my password. I'm not tripping about that. I
Right.
think at least in my experience, we've run into issues where, like you said, it may just be private conversations where not private and like malicious in nature, but just like, oh, me and you may be having a conversation and she may read something and be like, what's this about? Well,
Out of context.
it's not your business necessarily,
Yeah.
nor is it, I'm not trying to hide nothing, nor is this deceitful, or, once again, there's no malice behind it. But this also, I wasn't thinking when I typed this message with the intent of you reading it behind me and not knowing the context. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa. I could very easily, I'm sure, go into her phone, read a conversation between her and one of her girlfriends, and interpret something a certain way where it's like, that wasn't the context of this conversation.
Right.
Nor do you know, I don't know y'all relationship, which, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just bringing my own experience into something that doesn't have anything to do with me at all and trying to come up with some type of conclusion from it. And I just think in most situations, that's just not a good thing.
Yes. Because that person wasn't talking to you.
Yeah. And I think
that, like it's literally that.
Yeah. And I think that unfortunately, the biggest issue that technology has brought about is accessibility, where people just assume because we have technology and you have this type of technology, then I should be able to do this or I should be able to reach you anytime. I should be able to, you should be responsive to me within a certain time span because you have this thing. And it's like, no.
That's real.
I also have a choice to not be attached to this thing or not to respond to this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no different than before we had cell phones. And okay, if somebody called your house, you could be home and let it go to voicemail. Listen to who called you and say, all right, I'm gonna call them back later.
Right.
They're not gonna be upset because they like, all right, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was no,
that's true.
There was no tie as far as, oh, you have to do. There was no
answer me now. Yeah. It was like answer me now.
Yeah, it wasn't an expectation as far as like you requiring my time.
Yeah.
Right. You understood, hey, I'm really at the liberty of whenever you're free to call me, you're gonna call me. And hopefully I'm home because I may not be home when you call me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like technology has made it to where it's blurred that line as far as accessibility and your responsibility to others. Where people feel like, oh, if I called you and you didn't call me back, dang, you ain't call me back.
Right.
All right, maybe I just wanted to wait until I saw you. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? But once again, you start telling yourself these stories, you come up with this and that, and it's like, that's just not really ain't what life is about. People don't owe you anything.
That's really
funny.
How
close you are, they don't owe you anything.
That's funny because, like, to your point, it's like, yeah, I don't respond to text messages back like in a hurry. Not because I'm like ignoring them, but I'm just like, okay, I read it, I got it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Have you been watching Love Is Blind?
I'm on episode 6 right now. So this episode 6 is when this is the first time all the couples are meeting in Cabo.
Okay.
I'm literally paused that.
I'll keep going. Because I'm caught all the way up. Yeah, because it come out tomorrow. Okay, yeah. Okay. Well,
I'm trying to get up to speed.
Okay. But yeah, it's not giving nothing away, but it's like one dude was just like, I had text you and then you didn't talk to me all day.
Yeah.
And the girl was like, well, basically he might have texted her like, and make sure you put some air in the tire.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, yeah, I read it. And I was okay, like I didn't have anything else to say. Like, and I was like, yeah, I know some people are like that to where like they need the confirmation. And if you need confirmation, let me know. I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. But that is even something I had to do like early on with Alexia. It was like, yeah, I'm not really on the phone all day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of got to build that up. Like we'll get to that, but it's just like even like I'm out of town for work. I know you view me as like out of town,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like I'm at work. So even when I'm at the hotel, I'm like doing certain stuff. It's like I'm not doing nothing. I'm sitting here. That's not to say that I can't call you, but it's just like you don't want anything either.
Yeah.
So like text me. Like I'm not trying to avoid you by any means, but it's just like yeah, that's not talking to me more is not always higher quality communication.
Yeah. I
You know
get
what I'm
that.
saying? It's not quality communication. We're just talking. I might as well just send you some memes.
Yeah.
And if that's what you would like to, that's why that is good quality communication because you can have low effort communication,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
hurts
I was
young
gonna,
people in dating, I feel like, too.
yeah, I was definitely gonna say like we definitely have dealt with that where especially when I was still flying, where it would be, all right, I've been at work, I'm flying, I'm in the air all day. I get to the hotel finally. Kelsey calls and she's like, hey, what are you up to? Oh, nothing, I'm just chilling. Oh, you didn't want to talk to me? Like, well, yes, I always would love to talk to you at any
Of
time that you
course.
want to talk to me.
Right.
However, I just hadn't called you because I didn't have anything to talk about.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here.
You haven't talked to me all day. Well, one, we've texted, so I have communicated. I mean, I physically talked to you, but we have communicated.
Yeah.
And I also just don't have nothing to say. I'm not just
You know,
calling my friends and sitting on the phone.
you know what it is? You know what it
You know?
is? It's kind of like you more so look at it like an extended, I'm just out the house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you was to go like, dang, she at the house, I'm finna go make a room real quick. You're not calling me. You're just like, yeah, you're texting me. You know what I'm saying? You might send me something, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I'm coming back home.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like when I was at work, it's just like, yeah, I'm just out I'm not doing nothing. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be back. You know what I mean? And so that
Yeah.
is that's a yeah.
That's a good point because that's how you view it. That's how I view it for her, where it's like whether she's at work or she is out with her friends, or like sometimes when she'll go back home,
Mm-hmm.
She'll be like, there's been times when we've gotten into it because she's like, well, you really didn't call me when I was gone. I'm like, well, you was with your family. I
I know
knew
what you're doing.
I knew where you were. I knew who you were with. I knew what you were doing. And I didn't need shit. That didn't mean I didn't love you. I didn't miss you. I just knew what you were doing. There was nothing for me to communicate.
I don't need that. And I will say, now this is something I want you to watch the next episodes with. And I want to build because I actually was building on with Demi on this. And so you can help me talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's things this goes for men and women, but I'm only coming from a man's standpoint. Like you could say that you want certain stuff from your partner, and then you get it, and then you realize it was like, oh, I kind of just want that sometimes. Like that's not the one of like the building blocks that I need. And I feel like communication in that way, like it's some niggas that will blow your phone up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's levels to what you think that you want from an actual communicator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like sometimes people just like, yeah, those are really nice to have. You want to be talking to, thought of. But for men, all those things, and for people in general, are just very thin lines. It's a very thin line between you want a man. So like you said, I'm out of town. He calls you all the time. To the nigga that don't let you go nowhere without him. It's a very thin line between that.
And I have the perfect example, right? There's been Kelsey has mentioned before, like she's randomly texted me before, man, when she's out with her girlfriends or gotten back home. She's like, man, telling me stories about some of the situations her girlfriends are dealing with. She's like, man, I'm just so happy you're not like that. And I'm like, yeah, in this situation, you would be happy because she's something, for example, like if she goes out and puts on something that's just cute, right? All right, maybe showing a little something, but Kelsey, she's also not a super like. She's not gonna go out showing her with her titties hanging out or her booty.
Right.
She may go out with somewhere. All right,
Yeah.
looking good. That's how you was looking when I found you, and I expect you still to walk around and feel that way about yourself. When you leave the house, I'm cool with that, right? And like there's she's spoken to me before, and she's like, man, like some people will really trip about that, but like I appreciate the fact that you still allow me to just like dress up and feel good and get cute, and you're not insecure about it, and it's not a hey, go change the outfit.
Right.
Now, yes, there's still some times where she may put something on, and those are the moments when I know, like, all right, you also are kind of sensing this, maybe toting the line a little bit too much, and she'll ask like, hey, what do you think about this?
Right.
You probably could change this, or no, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Just that. All right, I just wanted to kind of check the temp with you just to make sure this was good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's a respect level between the two of us where it's like I also know that she's not gonna just go out the house looking EO kind of way.
Right. Right. She not that type of, like, to your point, like she probably wouldn't do that even if she wasn't with you. Like
exactly. No,
like,
she wouldn't. She wouldn't. Before we was together, she was never the girl who was dressing that provocative. And that just wasn't.
Some people be naked. You know what I'm saying? It's levels.
Yeah.
Even to that though, it's like with Alexia, she'll more so. I'm probably more out there than her. I'll probably be pushing her to wear more crazy stuff than that, in that sense. More so because I just want her to have that freedom to do that as an artist. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want her to feel like, again, I don't want to be that. It's a thin line between being that boyfriend that help you do your music to I control everything and how it looks. And it's a very thin line between that. And a lot of the times I try to only assert myself when she has like indecision. You know what I mean? But like to that point, she'll ask me about an outfit. I won't really say something that's too small or too revealing. I'll just tell her what is going on. Like, oh yeah, like titties out. Okay, well, whatever. What I see. As long as you know your titties is out, other people gonna think your titties out too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying put your titties up, but I'm just saying I just want us to all be on the same page.
As far as how we walking out the house right now.
I don't want you walking out thinking that that this wasn't out and it is, and that you confused. You know what I'm saying? That's all. I just want to make sure we all seeing the same thing. But no, it's and I feel like that is one of the things with Love Is Blind, that it's like in conversation, a whole bunch of things work.
Yeah.
Because we're just talking about it. It's all hypothetical. But then in action, it's like you say you want the neat. Oh, I love a clean man. Or this nigga's a neat freak, and if you put this thing here, he's gonna fucking spaz out on your ass. Like that is a big difference, you know. And I feel like you can't hold somebody to. I mean, of course, you judge people off their actions, but like, yes, like some of the things that they're saying when you're courting somebody, you're showing up as your best version of yourself. So yes, as the best version of yourself, you're clean. You know what I'm saying? Some people are dirty even in the best version of themselves. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, you know, now that there are women who can have a lot more freedom in the type of men that they choose, now men are in different positions too within relationships. You know what I mean? So it's like we have to possess more qualities, more charming qualities about ourselves, and that we didn't have to have before. Yeah. And it's just like in the same way that you want your daughter to be able to like change a tire, you want your son to be able to like do laundry and fold clothes and do the dishes and like keep the house a certain kind of way. Or even if it's doing certain stuff with kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I don't foresee me having a problem cleaning poop and like changing diapers and stuff. But to your point, there are niggas that's a hard line for.
I'm not changing diapers.
It's a hard line.
Some people will say that, where it's like, yeah, I'm just not doing that one. It's like, no, I need you to be well-rounded.
Because what if I'm just like you said, she gonna get sick? Yeah, it's gonna be there. Like people go down. Damn, LeBron twists his ankle out tonight. Like damn, so now we just can't have a team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you gotta play.
Yeah, I'll never forget the first time like Kelsey went out of town after we had Jameson, and it was just like me and him for a couple like 3 or 4 days. And I know that was super. Like she was very anxious about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though, nigga, I've been here for every second he's been alive, I've been right next to you figuring this
Right.
shit
Right.
out, right? Like, but
That,
I remember how much just how anxious she was. And I remember even for myself, I wasn't anxious, but I remember being like, okay, this is gonna be the first time. We're gonna see. This is
what's gonna happen?
daddy is mine. We about to see how you respond to it just being me and your mama is not here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I mean, it turned out to be perfectly fine. But I say that to say, like, yes, we definitely are shaping our kids, and just in general, we want to be more well-rounded in general, like even in terms of like emotionally available. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
the area that to this day I still struggle with being the best version of myself emotionally that Kelsey needs sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I just, you know me, that's not how I express myself. I can understand somebody feeling a lot of different type of ways, right?
Right.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
because that's just how I am. However, that's not necessarily how I express myself all the time. So it's been challenges for sure where she's needing more from me emotionally than what I'm able to give sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's caused stresses,
Yeah.
right? But it's also forced me to kind of grow like, all right, she needs more from me, right?
Right.
How can I do that? How can I provide more when that's just outside of my nature and just like my norm of who I am? Okay, now I have to grow and be more intentional with certain things.
How have you what ways have you been able to like express yourself, or like what has helped you express yourself better?
I think now I just speak up more on how I truly feel about things.
Got you.
Um,
Don't
whereas
let shit go as much.
yeah, I think before I either one just wasn't in tune enough with my own feelings to even be able to communicate it to her, or two, I wasn't expressing it because I was like, oh, whatever, I'm a guy, or it ain't that big of a deal. Not really
Mhm.
realizing, okay, this stuff is festering inside of me, and this is gonna become a big deal down the
Mhm.
line if I don't communicate it right now. But I just didn't know that, right? And then we get to a
Got
point where, okay, now we're arguing. This comes out, and she like, whoa, you ain't never said this. Why you didn't communicate that? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, damn, I really didn't realize that until just now. That was really bothering me, right?
Right.
Um,
That's real.
so, but it's helped us because it also just it allows us to kind of tap in a lot more with each other. I think we're more intentional with just sitting down and just having check-ins where it's like, all right, it seems like a couple weeks have gone by, or a month has gone by, etc. It seems like we good, but let's just check in and like, how you feeling?
Yeah.
Right?
I
Okay,
got you.
I feel X, Y, and Z. All right, this is how I'm feeling right now. Or I know that we kind of dealt with this thing a couple months ago. This is kind of still bothering me, or I still just need some resolution with, you know what I'm saying? Just,
Yeah.
you really got to tap in. So it's helped me be more conscious with that and not
Yeah.
just assuming because she doesn't say anything that everything is okay.
Right.
That's how I navigated our relationship very early on. Is all right, if she ain't saying nothing, it must be good. And it's like, no,
Right. Right. Right.
so
That's real, because I feel like I struggle early on in our relationship with being like super direct. Because one, I'm a very like fluid person with plans and things, and like I'm down to the minute of it being having to make a decision sometimes. And I feel like she that can definitely come off as like indecisive and indirectness. But it's like, no, I'm very direct. I know what I want to have done. I just don't know how it's gonna happen all the times. And I'm open to I'll wait to the last second for the best option. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And so, but I understand how like if your brain process is like, well, you kind of need to know so you can plan for yourself, then that could just create a lot of anxiety because now you feel like you're waiting. Well, I feel like we're waiting too, but we're having two different experiences waiting. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And so me having to just understand that like don't be irrational or like too sensitive about having to deliver news that I think somebody might not want to hear.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? Or news that I deem certain kind of way. Like, no, it's better to just be direct and have that conversation so that we can do it, because I've just found out that really Alexia just wants to know, but she really just wants me to make a decision. And
mhm,
I'll be trying to like not take away autonomy. Like, well, hey, I mean, look,
Yeah.
I'm okay with whatever decision you want to make. You know what I'm saying? But no, you actually want me to make a decision for you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I could do that. I don't know why you just didn't say that, but now I understand
Yeah.
certain decisions you just don't want to make.
Yeah.
Which can be hard for you to just say because you could, I guess I could look at you a certain kind of way or treat you there. I don't know. I could do something with that information. But yeah, for me, I just like, I don't never want to feel like I'm bulldozing situations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or like, doing too much or just like taking over, not listening. So that's why I try to leave that space. But then I feel like I leave too much space.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, my bad. I'll shoot this bitch every time. You know what I'm saying? Don't
If
worry.
you give me the ball.
Yeah, I would shoot this bitch every time. So
I'm just trying to pass it to you, but if you want me to shoot, I will.
If you don't want me to pass, if you don't want me to pass this bitch, I won't. Trust me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
sure.
yeah, no, all that shit is like definitely, a thing. And that's why you're definitely gonna like the Love is Blind, the end, because it brings up just a lot of real questions that like these people who just met each other can't answer. But I feel like within relationships, it's always like a changing dynamic. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I guess that's probably like the one thing that I took away from my birthday is just that, like, oh, yeah, life is always kind of a changing dynamic. So it's like, you got to control the things, obviously, that you can control. You know what I'm saying? But then there's just always this dynamic that you can't control.
Yeah.
And so you got to be hella cool with the fact that it's just hella shit. You're just not going to be able to do anything about. And that could be like, I'm sure, like you said, as a parent, as a partner, as a husband, as a business owner, as a manager, as all these different things, that can be nerve-wracking as fuck. And I understand now. Until recently, I couldn't understand how people were alcoholics. Till I was like, what? I guess I could see how you just get off work and that shit was lame as hell every day. Just fuck you.
Yeah. Let me grab a tall boy from the gas station on the way home, grab a Black and Mild,
bro.
Get outside, decompress.
I'm finna
another one before I go to sleep.
I'm finna sip this wine every night.
This is my routine.
You know what I'm saying? Routine.
It's no different than people who get off work and like, I got one rolled up in the car every day.
Already.
Right?
Already.
It just ain't alcohol, but
it's just not alcohol.
So.
But to that point, people addicted to the gym.
Yeah.
People addicted to like, it's so many different things. Like you said, like the world is so crazy right now. So, I will say I gotta go try to go this week. I gotta go try to see the Pharrell movie. At this point, I haven't seen it already. I'm sorry, Pharrell. Don't take my fan card away. It's a lot of shit going on, but I definitely want to see that movie in theaters. I feel like that's worth seeing in theaters as a fan.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely would like to take Jameson because we've taken him to we've taken him to movies once.
Okay.
This was last December. We took him to go see Beyonce when the concert came out.
Okay.
We took him to see that, and I mean, he was still so young. He went to sleep. We went to a later showing, like 8, 9:30.
Yeah.
Anyway, with the hopes that he'll go to sleep, which he did.
Right. Okay.
He wouldn't do that now, but I also don't know how he would do that for that time span in the movie theater just yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Is he talkative?
Yeah, yes, he is talkative. He's not saying a ton of words, but he's saying like, wow. He's saying like, he'll say mama, he'll say like dada. He'll be like,
right.
Because that's stuff that I say I do. So like a lot of just like sounds that I make to him, he'll just make those sounds as well.
Back, right? Mirroring you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like in the movie like that, it's really, like you said, high stimulant. And I feel like he would react to the music. I feel like in the movie theater, probably like that, he never heard music like that. Because that was the thing, like Nishad is like very reactionary to music. Like when he was like a year ago, when Alexia had her show in August, that first one at the Dark Room, he was there. He sat in the back. And at first he was in the front, which was definitely too loud for him because now it's just niggas banging on shit. Like, what the fuck is going on? I'm sure he freaked out. But then after he got to the back, he was kind of chilling with us back there. He was kind of like, no, I'm kind of into this now. Like now he's, so now like I see his reaction a year later to live music or music in general.
Mm-hmm.
He's very like attentive.
Yeah.
Probably more so attentive than I see him to like visuals. Unless it's like a real thing, like he's attentive to cars, like you said, truck, like big shit, like a truck go by, it's like, oh shit, like a monster is here or something. But it's like the music, it's like he'll key in on it. It don't matter the genre, don't matter who playing it. If it's loud, if it's music, he locked in. So that would be interesting to see, like if he could lock into, because apparently they saying it's like damn near not all the songs, but like all the songs.
Yeah.
In movie version.
I can see it because he loves music. Like you said, he's the same way. Even at this point, being 16 months, come up on 16 months. If I turn music on, that immediately will capture his attention.
Yeah.
He's gonna start dancing. He's gonna start doing something, bobbing his head. He's gonna do something if music is on.
What's the one old artist that for sure you feel like he's gonna have to know? Like you got to over-index in something. Like, what's the one thing that's like, damn, he really know we played the fuck out of this?
That I played the most. He's probably gonna end up hearing a lot of Dom Kennedy, which I mean, granted, is not an old artist, but for him, it's gonna seem like an old artist.
Let's say an artist that's not making music currently, because that's true. Because now musicians are a little bit different. I mean, I guess Stevie Wonder never stopped making music technically,
right?
But it's a little different now. I feel what you're saying. I guess I was thinking of like Michael Jackson, Prince. Like they're not making music.
I do listen to Prince, but I'm not really. He's not getting exposed to listening to Prince at this point because we just not riding around in the car listening to it.
Right.
Which is why I said like Dom Kennedy, because that's something that I'm still actively playing. Is like
right. Okay.
But older artists probably. I would probably say like Kanye West and Jay-Z. Because that's still something that Kelsey and I both would, no matter who he's riding with, he would end up listening to Jay-Z if he was with Kelsey. He's gonna hear some Jay-Z in the car with me, but he will hear me also playing like Kanye.
Kanye's a good one. Kanye is actually a really good one.
Just like a Tribe Called Quest, Common. Those are probably other like older artists. That's also you will regularly hear one because it's also safe for him to listen to as far as content right now.
Right.
I don't have to worry about like him picking up on any bad words and stuff like that. So it's like that's safe stuff to listen to.
Right.
Also musical.
True. I think I'm going all in on the curse words in the music. I think I'm going all in on it. I think that's the one thing that I'm like, my dad played me everything.
Yeah.
And it like, I think that I understood, like at the time I couldn't really I never understood what parents meant when they said that, but I think there is something to like being exposed to something first by your parents.
Oh, for sure.
Cause they're like, it just is. I don't know. Just like words. Like now that I look back on it, like hearing I wasn't drawn to kids who cursed. So I wasn't drawn to that because I was just like, oh well, I get what curse words are kind of used for and who can use them. You know what I'm saying? And say certain stuff. And then I realized too, as a kid, the stuff I didn't understand, you kind of gloss over it. So you might hear it, but I don't understand it. So it's just like, it's not even, it is, I know there's a curse. It's just a curse word.
Yeah.
I have so lack of understanding that it's not even explicit to me. They could have said the worst thing. And it's like, I fully don't even get it.
And I think that's probably the only thing that I'm waiting for. I'm just waiting for him to get to a certain point where he'll understand this is a bad word.
Right.
You gonna listen to it.
Shit. He said shit. He used to say shit, but he don't get why I was like.
Right.
But yeah, cursing on purpose is different.
Right. And that's the only thing where I'm like, once he gets to the point where I know he has a basic grasp on words and what are good words, what are bad words. Okay, cool. We can listen to the bad words. You can't say the bad words.
I'm trying to think.
But we gonna listen to them.
I feel like it was like around 5 or 6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not gonna be, we just can't listen to no curse words in the car. No, we listen to, I don't have anything that's not.
And to your point, it's the type of curse words.
Yeah, like
we listening to Common curse. It's different than listening to Soulja Boy or Gucci Mane curse. Different than listening to even Jay-Z curse, depending on the era.
Yeah.
Kanye curse. Like you're saying, it is, there are levels to cursing. You know what I'm saying? Like in the type of curse words and like how they even say it and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's a good point. That's a real good, because I was like, yeah, it was. I mean, I guess it shouldn't have been shocking, but like, damn, I was like, damn, if I had a son, he was like 12 or a daughter or whatever, 11, they could barely watch the starting five on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like, it's stuff like that that I was like, damn, like they on her cursing a storm. But that is like they're grown men, they're in the locker room. So that is how niggas talk in the locker room, especially. But I was like, dang, like, no, this is real locker room talk. Like, I was like, dang, like high school, you gotta watch this in high school. Like, I don't know if I can have my sixth grader just like, damn, watch Eddie or fuck all this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that might be too much. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to try to emulate that. Like, that to me is like where you got to start filtering it. Like, oh, now you second through sixth grade. Like, I really do got to filter what I show you and the types of stuff. That's why for me, I think it was really important to watch comedic bad stuff that I shouldn't have watched.
Yeah.
Because it was comedic. So it's like, I was just watching South Park.
Yeah.
Which is inappropriate, but it's so inappropriate and outlandish and comedic that it's like, well, I can't actually go out and like do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a joke. It's an inappropriate joke that I shouldn't know for sure, but it's a joke. Versus like music is such that thin line because it's like we live out the music. So it's like Sexy Red say or D-Lo Bossman say, shake that ass. You can really shake that ass at the lunchroom. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's opportunities for you to be shaking that ass, and it's like, oh, I can't have that really.
Yeah, but it's harder to do something that Cartman talked about. Like,
you know what I'm saying? It's much harder to play out Cartman and Bart than it is to play out D-Man Boss. You know, man, Boss Man D-Lo. So that's hilarious. It's harder to be Cartman than it is Boss Man D-Lo.
For sure.
I think we gotta leave it there. So. Y'all keep listening. Thanks for listening. Subscribe wherever you are. Definitely. If you got this far, we appreciate you. October 30th, the show at City Winery. Julian will be in town. The whole gang will be together. It's gonna be one.
We're gonna have like we said, we'll have a piece of merch that we're gonna give away as well to somebody who comes. So
yeah.
Definitely just
have a giveaway.
Stay tuned in for that. But yeah, we're gonna definitely give away a piece of it's gonna be a 1-on-1 piece.
That's it. We're rocking it like that. All right, y'all. I'll holler at y'all. Peace.
All right, y'all.